Good afternoon, it's Therese Auliffe here again from Lighting the Way, and today I want to talk a little bit about the throat chakra, or in Sanskrit it's called Vishuddha. So we have worked through the lower chakras and we have worked through the heart chakra. So if we can remember that, the energy, everything is energy, and the energy has to organize itself into organs and glands and meridians and centers for energy, chakra centers. So there are energy centers within our body. So we do have hundreds, but there are 7 main, so 3 lower. So we have the base with the color red, we have the sacral or sacral, the base can be called the root, remember it faces down, so they're spinning wheels of energy. Then the sacral to do with our creativity and sexuality, and then we have the solar plexus to do with our power and to do with our will, and then we come into the heart where it really is about unconditional love and compassion, and really to be able to connect with the essence of who we actually are, and allow ourselves to feel the love and allow ourselves to understand that we are love. Hello ladies, I see I have some people joining me here live, and it's very off the cuff, because I did the heart yesterday and today I'm doing the throat because I missed a week with a sore eye. So the throat really is, of course, about expression, and it's about expressing our truth. You may have guessed by now that the color for the throat center is blue, and the element is water, and the element is sound, okay, and we need to get by the water for the throat chakra to really open up. So anything that's blue, so bodies of water like the sea, or if you're out in the sunshine and you look up at the blue sky, you have a whole body of energy that looks blue overhead. So all of that is really, really good for balancing the throat chakra or the throat center. But I suppose once we've worked up through the lower chakras and we start to, ground ourselves and earth ourselves, start to understand what our creativity is, and take ownership of, our magnificence and our power within, and then to do it from a place of pure love, our essence and that love that's running through us, and then to be able to express our truth. So it's not what's true for anybody else, it's really our authentic truth. So there are ways that we know when our throat center is blocked, and so I believe that we need to keep all of our centers open, because life force energy needs to flow freely through us. So they get tightened up and shriveled and shrunken down to a smaller size if they're underactive, and they can become overactive as well. And both of those are throwing us out of kilter and totally out of balance. So if we've an overactive throat center, we could be very boastful and very egotistical, but we're not really speaking our truth. We're speaking from a place of fear. So if it's underactive, we can be really, really shy and inhibited, and we can hold back our self-expression, but we can also hold back our creativity. So there's quite a lot to it. So I have a lot of bits and pieces jotted down. I always like to meditate, which I did meditate yesterday evening, and I didn't really have time to meditate before I came on here today, because it's Saturday and I normally don't do stuff like this on a Saturday, and we do get up later and have breakfast together and enjoy conversation. But I did spend about a half an hour before I came on just centering myself and then allowing me to give you the best that I can today. So self-expression, all about your unique truth. Okay, so we talk about truth, but then there's the real truth. There's the truth that sits right with us and that we feel that this is right. Of course, this is also connected to our ears. So clairaudience would be, the clear hearing. So if we hear spirit, we hear these messages, sometimes with our physical ears, but very often internally we hear this. It's called clairaudience, and this chakra, when it's in balance, will open you up to being able to hear spirit, so hear beyond the physical, really. So it's all about purification, it really is, and it looks after the lymph, the thyroid, the parathyroid, the jaw, the neck, the nose, the cervical spine, the mouth, the tongue, the shoulders. So it looks after quite a large area of our body. So if we really think about it, it is how we express into the world. So whether that is true, because our thoughts have to be expressed, so that if they're expressed in writing or if they're expressed verbally, it's all to do with the throat center. So every center is really important, and I know that as I come to them I say this is a really important center, but they're all really important. But this is both how you express yourself out into the world. It's through this center. Obviously you're going to be using the energy of the heart, you're going to have yourself grounded, you're going to work your way right up through, but this is what other people are going to experience about you. So it's really important that you're grounded and centered in your own truth, because not everybody will like you, not everybody will love you, but you're not going to be upset about it, because if you're comfortable in your own truth, it's not going to be your difficulty. If somebody has a difficulty with you, it's kind of none of your business, because you're comfortable with yourself and you're going to give your best, and that's all that really matters. So as I said, the colour is blue, the element is sound, and sometimes people may say ether, and the position is really where your collarbones meet there, that hollow that's there in your neck, that's really where this center is. And generally, when our chakra, say our heart is here and it's directly behind it, but the throat, if you bend your neck backwards, it's not directly behind it, it's, that crease that's there in the back of your neck, that's where it is at the back. So it's easy enough really for us to understand the throat center, because it's right in the center of the throat. Speaking your truth, coming from the center of your own willpower. So listening is also connected to this. So if you don't feel that someone is listening to you, or that you're not being heard, whether that's in a workplace or whether it's in a private relationship, an intimate relationship, you will close up this chakra. Okay, and then of course that causes all other problems, because it starts closing other chakras, because fear starts to set in and we start to lose our confidence. And so you can see why, every chakra is needed to help the next chakra. So we're moving right up, so we're moving higher and higher. So the energy is lighter, but it's faster. So it's a faster vibration, because each chakra really has its own energetic signature. And the throat chakra is obviously a little bit faster than the heart chakra. And then we're going to move to the third eye, which will be that little bit faster again. And then obviously we go to the crown, that's faster again. And that's how it's meant to be, because it's a lighter vibration of energy. And it's actually easier to open and cleanse and balance and heal as we move up through the centers, because the density as we move down through the chakras, it's actually harder to work with. So if it feels stuck, I've written down quite a bit here. So if it's out of alignment, you may feel social anxiety. So when you're out in a crowd, you might just feel like, ooh, and you just want to get away. Loss of faith. So it could be apathy. So you could just feel like life isn't really worth it, and I've tried that so many times and nothing really works out for me. That's a definite sign that your throat center is out of balance. Shyness. You often hear people say, oh, that person is really, really shy. But, they're really afraid to speak their truth for some reason or another. And we're not going to judge anything, because, non-judgment is in the heart, and we were only after working with our heart center. So we just work then to speaking our truth. And if somebody's really, really shy, they're holding back their truth, so they're afraid, really. They're afraid to speak their truth. And shame is also held in this area. So if there's anything that we are ashamed of in our lives, or we don't feel very confident and we feel that we're not good enough, that's all held in here. And this all throws this center completely out of balance. We could even feel kind of desperate, kind of anxious and afraid and frightened and desperate. Can't express ourselves, so, very inhibited. And that's a pure sign that this is out of balance. Really afraid to speak, terrified even maybe to speak. And we'll talk about bringing it back into balance in a minute, okay? Having your creativity paralyzed, and I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to this, that you might have a really, really big idea and that you want to paint or sing or sculpt or do something in the healing modality or join a theatre or something, or just produce something that's really creative, it's your creation, and then you just think, oh no, I couldn't do that, and you become paralyzed, you become stuck. That's definitely the throat center out of balance. So once we get that back into balance, things begin to flow again and our creativity begins to open up again. So feeling pressure, feeling pressurized by other people or by circumstances really puts this completely out of balance. So if you feel, I feel under so much pressure, the chances are you really have your throat chakra totally out of balance. So then you just go to opening it up again and bringing it back into balance. Or holding back, you have an idea or you have something you want to say. Have you ever heard people say, oh, I just kept the peace, I kept my mouth shut, I didn't say anything about it, it was easier. That clogs our throat, that shrinks it, and we're really holding back our own authentic truth and our own expression, and that allows us to have a miserable life, because really our joy comes from being free. I wore this today just because it's blue and just because I can and I am a free spirit, and I do like it, and I just feel that I've worn this a good few times to workshops and that, but I suppose the test for me, would be to see could I just wear this down to the supermarket and not care about what everybody else thinks about me. So I'll challenge myself to that, but I won't be doing it from a place of ego that I want people to look at me. I'll be doing it from a place of being comfortable in my own skin. So I haven't ever worn this, so I think I just may. So how to open it, okay? So how to bring it back into balance is really, really important, because we've gone through, when we're feeling stuck and we don't speak our truth and we just hold back and we feel pressurized. It's like you feel kind of a toxic environment around you. Sometimes, if you're in a workplace and it's difficult to speak up, or you have, condescending stuff going on, we can very often, freeze our throat chakra, or at least tighten it so tight that, we just couldn't be bothered anymore. So you either leave that environment or you learn how to look after yourself, but you definitely need to open your center. Okay, so not speaking up, not thinking in alignment with your own truth, other people not hearing you or seeing you, or even you feeling that people think that your internal truth isn't valid. So, all of that closes it, gossiping, complaining, they all throw your throat chakra out of alignment. Having doubt, being dishonest, telling lies, and one of the really big things that throws it out of balance is negative thinking. So if we're going around in a spin about something and we're thinking negatively, it throws this completely out of balance, because that is not our truth. Our truth is that we are beautiful, passionate beings of great purpose and great destiny. So we really need to open ourselves up. One of the easy way to do it is to laugh. So, throwing on a funny movie, going to a laughter yoga session, just being with friends that are funny to be with, having a laugh. And at the moment, it's really important for us all, because all our throat chakras have been inhibited, because there's no socializing, so we haven't got the opportunity to really speak up about most stuff, and there are things that nobody can speak up about because we don't really know what's going on. So the throat chakra really needs to get a bit of nourishment. So it's really important for us all to, even yawning, and I mean an exaggerated yawn, it opens up your throat. But laughter is even better, okay, because you have it going, okay, and you're just going to get the throat to literally start moving again for you. So obviously speaking, singing, chanting, humming, all of that is good. So yesterday, one of my sons, he's doing this, 30-day challenge with different songs, but he had one of Queen's songs up and it really resonated with me. So I have Spotify on my phone, so I stuck it on a speaker in the kitchen and I put on Queen's greatest hits, and there was Bohemian Rhapsody and the whole lot were on there. So I turned it up loud and I sung as loud as I possibly could with the windows open, and I thought, let it rip, just open up your throat center. So shouting, yelling, singing, humming, chanting, it's all really good. So it's using your vocals really. Having a very positive focus. So find something that you're really positive about and start with that one thing. And that will propel onto something else and something else and something else. And before you know it, you'll have a positive focus about many things. So finding stuff to be positive about. Making even a list of positive aspects about something or other. You know, for me myself, when I was thinking about this yesterday, I thought, okay, so what are the positive aspects about lockdown? And it ended up, you know, I had quite a few. It gives me extra time to do this. It gives me extra time to go inside. I have time. I'm actually creating a new website. Well, somebody is creating it for me, but I have to create all the content. So it's a huge amount of work. It's giving me more time to be with my partner, more time to play with the dogs. And before I knew it, more time to bake. Like I would always say, you know, oh, I don't really bake. I cook. I love cooking, but I don't really bake. But I've baked quite a few things, and you know, I haven't poisoned us yet. So it's actually, there's a lot of positive aspects, but find something in your life and start writing positive aspects. And before you know it, you'll start looking at the positive aspects of lots of stuff. This brings about positive thinking, which keeps your throat chakra working really well and balanced. Own your own individuality. So again, that's really important. That's about speaking your truth, you know, because we're conditioned to fit in, but we're actually born to stand out. So just own your own individuality and just be comfortable in your own skin, really. Check in with your throat, okay? So wearing the colour blue obviously is one of the things that will help you balance it. But if you check in with your throat and just, you know, close your eyes and imagine that you can see inside of your throat. I close my eyes, I see angel wings in there. And just allow yourself to connect to it and see, is it bright, is it dark, has it something to tell you, would it like to be expanded? You know, just ask your throat and check in with it. After a while, it may seem a bit random to you, but like that's what I do with all of the centers, and that's what I'm doing when I'm doing energy healing. So I'm checking into different organs and different glands, and obviously it comes easy to me, but it'll come easy to you after a while too. So just check in. Figuring out what we really want to do is probably one of the biggest challenges that we have as human beings. Figuring out who we are, you know, why we came here, all of that, but even figuring out what's true for you. So in this body, in this context, in this lifetime, what's true for you? So what's your passion? What do you really like to do most? And if you can figure out what that is, what makes you happy, okay? And work your way around being creative around that and expressing that as your truth. This will balance your throat chakra so fast. It's amazing. Imagine the colour blue. So as I said, you know, if you go out on a sunny day and you look up at the sky, that's really good. If you walk by the ocean and it's really blue and clear, that's really good. And if you can't do that, just close your eyes and imagine the colour blue surrounding you, and that will work too. Of course, there are lots of exercises, like physical exercises, and there are yoga exercises, there are Tai Chi exercises, there are Qigong exercises, there are many exercises. I don't want to introduce any here because the head, as we know, is really heavy, and if I start doing exercises, we could damage some of the muscles in our neck because there's a lot of warming up that has to be done. But there are lots of exercises that can be done that will actually stretch out all of the neck, and it will free up the throat. So again, some foods that are good for the throat center. Coriander, I've just written down a few, and you could look this up, you know. Onions, elderberry, they'd all be really good for the throat center. Blueberries, anything that has blue in it as well, like, you know, that dark blue, that purple or anything, but this really light blue is the colour that is associated with the throat. Some oils that would be good. Frankincense would be really good, and of course that's really conducive to prayer and meditation and opening you up to your divinity, really. I don't know where I saw this somewhere, but the number 16 in numerology is associated with the throat. So if you were using a diffuser or something and you really were just concentrating on opening up your throat center, 16 drops of the oil, So peppermint, peppermint is a really morning oil. So I would advise you, I suppose, to pick your own oils. But for me, I don't particularly like eucalyptus, but it does open up everything. I would go with frankincense myself. Lemon balm would be quite good as well for opening up this. But for me, if I were to use an essential oil to work with my throat center to bring it back into balance, whether it was too open or too closed, I would personally use frankincense myself to help me to do it. Just want to see, I suppose if you are a pure reflection of your inner truth, your throat center will be balanced. Letter writing, I just want to see if I wrote anything else down for you. No, I think I've kind of covered it. So drinking water, eating citrus fruits, and if you're very shy, the chances are your throat chakra is very shrunken. So taking a public speaking class could be very good for you, or joining any groups where you'll all have your turns to speak up and where you feel heard. That's really important, where you don't feel that people are dismissing you. It's really important to feel heard. Wearing blue clothing, speaking your truth gracefully and lovingly, going for a karaoke evening, we won't always be on lockdown, turning up the music, singing along with it, turning it up in the car and singing, it'll all help. Enjoying all the sounds of nature, because everything about sound, of course, is in here, because it's the ears and the throat together. Spend time by the ocean. I am the essence of sound. Vibration would be one affirmation that you could say. And the one that I suppose I've written down too, and the one that I really like is I speak my truth and it is liberating. So that's really nice, isn't it, to feel that you are liberated by speaking your truth, and it's your truth. So again, putting some nice blue things around your home that would remind you. So I just said, if I have a blue towel in the bathroom when I go in to wash my hands, that will remind me. So, lots of blue crystals, and please don't ask me the names of the crystals, because I did a lot of classes with Jacinta Murray, but in Cork, and if you want to know anything about crystals, you attend our classes, and a friend gave me this, but they're all for the throat. They're all for the throat. So thyroid, parathyroid, any of those, try and balance your throat. I have this beautiful little dragon here as well. Another friend, Sheila, gave me a present of this, and I love it, so I keep that on my desk, and he reminds me to keep my throat chakra in balance. Whoops. Simple things. I have a diary, a thought a day, and it's a 5-year diary, and I absolutely love it. So again, that's writing. So having blue as the cover of that was really, really wise. Any books or anything, just put things kind of around you. If you want to work on your throat chakra and you're working on balancing it, just put some blue stuff, in your workspace, in the kitchen, or wherever it is that you spend most time. It's really very simple, because that'll remind you of the colour blue, and it'll also remind you to start doing something about expressing your truth, and just putting your hand there and saying, it's very like we said to the heart, is there any messages for me? So you can, literally talk into your centres, because they're all energy. So there's resonance, there's vibration, and you will understand it. You may not get it the first time around. You may think it's a bit kind of silly or crazy, but it's not, and your throat will just give you maybe a feeling, or just a knowing, or you might just go to sleep that night and have a dream and something comes true. And that's all because you checked in with the center and you asked, how could I do this? Sometimes I have clients, and while I'm working on them, I would understand that, that they have this really big creative flair within them, and this real big desire to do something about it, but they're too busy, they don't have time, they're raising their family, they don't have the money, a huge amount of different stuff. Yeah, interior decorating in your home, somebody says here. Yes, whatever it is, just surround yourself with the colour blue. So obviously we're working through all the chakras. So whichever one you're working with, surround yourself with that colour. So, if you want to do a chakra a day, a chakra an hour, even if you're deciding to rebalance your chakras, or you can do some lovely meditations to rebalance them all. I will, at the end of this series of chakra training videos, I will do a lovely meditation that will balance all of our chakras, and I'll put it up as an individual video so that the video isn't too long entirely and that it'll just turn people off. So blue flowers, whatever it is that works for you, just do it. So think about expressing your truth, all of your positive aspects. You know, what is it you really love to do in life? So what is your passion? Because that is your authentic truth, you know. And some people, you know, we don't fit into the box, you know. I never fitted into a box, you know. When I was in school or wherever I was, I always felt I was like the bit of the outsider, because I always knew stuff that other people didn't know. And I'm not talking about intellectual stuff. I'm talking about picking up energy and vibes and having an understanding that, ooh, this is not so good, doesn't make me feel good. So I was always very, very like strong about it. I'll always remember I was only 5, 6, 7. I got scarlet fever and I was out of school. I got a relapse for 6 months, and my teacher didn't want me to move on to the next class, which was a different teacher in a different room, and it was a Gael skull, and he was like, Neil Caddiger, he was saying, you can't come in. And I was, Tommy Dull, I am going. And he even connected with my mother and brought her down to the school and said that I wasn't allowed in. But I defied them all, and I went on to the next class even though I was 6 months behind, you know. And I got slapped every day for a couple of months because I hadn't a clue what was going on. But I caught up, but there was no way that I was going to stay behind. And that was to do again with energy. I just knew I needed to move on. So I was speaking my own truth, you know, and it allows you to really just be yourself. So I will post this video, and I hope you're finding them helpful. I see that quite a few people have come on here and joined me live today, which is really, really nice, you know. And I really do hope they're helpful. So if they are, just leave a comment or something underneath, and I'd be delighted. And if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, just ask me, because I'm doing the third eye next Friday. And of course, again, I'm saying, oh, third eye is an important chakra. So really it is your intuition, your inner knowing, your clairvoyance, your clear seeing. Okay, so it's a beautiful chakra for me to work with, because I suppose I'm very clairvoyant myself, and it's, you know, it's a skill you develop. You don't, you know, because when you're born, you obviously have all of your clairs, you know, your clairsentience, clairconscience, clairvoyant, clairaudience, they're all wide open. But you know, when people say, are you crazy, what are you doing, blah blah, we start to close them all down little by little by little. You're very welcome, ladies. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you're just living in a 5-sensory world, whereas really it's a multi-sensory world, and we need to open up to using our multi-sensory capabilities and having the time of our life. So I want to say thank you all. And I really do appreciate, you know, you coming on here with me, and I love all the blue hearts and butterflies and everything. So have a really gorgeous weekend, and I'll be back with chakra videos, of course, next Friday at 11. So God bless you all, and speak your truth. Thank you.